President, please be seated. The chamber is back in session, and I give the floor to Defense Counsel for Khieu Samphan to continue putting questions to the civil party.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, or rather good afternoon again, Madam Civil Party. We are now going to go into the last topic of this examination this afternoon. On the day you said you saw Khieu Samphan at the Central Market, yesterday, at about 15:41 during the hearing yesterday, you said you saw him for approximately 5 minutes. And you mentioned the same short duration in your statement to the investigators of the Office of Co-Investigating Judges, document E3/9479 at answer number 90. You said he passed very briefly, like lightning. Does it reflect what you told the investigators?
Yes, I saw him very briefly.
Vous avez indiqué que c'est votre mari qui...
You stated that it was your husband who told you that that person was Khieu Samphan. Can you tell us at what time of the day that happened? Was it in the morning, at midday, in the afternoon?
It was around 7 a.m. After he had left, I asked my husband, and he told me that he was Khieu Samphan.
Est-ce que vous pouvez indiquer à quel endroit?
Can you specify at what location in the Central Market you saw Khieu Samphan? Can you tell us whether it was near a building, on the square, or at some other location?
He was at the Central Market of Sa Thmai. He was in that market while evacuees were being distributed food and materials.
J'ai du mal à me faire comprendre dans ma question.
I have a problem making you understand my question. What I want to know is whether at that location at the Central Market there was a building or something that you can use as a point of reference to specify where you saw him on that day.
I did not know the direction clearly, whether to the north or south. But I think it was to the north of the market, where people were assembled, including the evacuees and the people who worked there, who were distributing food. But to me, I did not recognize clearly about the direction, whether it was to the north or south.
Est-ce que vous pouvez indiquer à la Chambre à quel...
Can you tell the chamber how far you were from that person at that time?
I was about 5 meters away. I was about 5 meters away from him, and he was wearing a short sleeve white t-shirt with short trousers.
avec un pantalon court. Il était de quelle couleur ce pantalon?
With shorts. What was the color of those shorts?
It was black trousers.
Vous avez indiqué que vous l'avez vu furtivement.
You said you saw him in a flash. Did you see him leave the central market?
I did not see him when he was leaving. I saw him only when he was standing there.
Est-ce que vous l'avez entendu parler?
Did you hear him speak?
No, I did not hear anything.
Et votre mari, il était à côté de vous?
And was your husband next to you at that time?
Yes, he was also standing there.
Il ne travaillait pas ce jour-là?
Wasn't he working on that day?
My husband was also responsible for distributing food on that day. He was also with me at that time.
Et vous avez indiqué que
You stated that that person passed by at 7 a.m. Did you spend the whole morning at the central market, or did you return to your usual place of residence at a point in time?
I did not stay there until 9 or 10 a.m. After we had distributed food to the people, we returned to our residence.
J'en ai terminé pour ce qui est de mes questions.
I am done with my questions. My colleague Konsamon has some supplementary questions to put to you.
President, thank you. Now the floor is yours. Councillor Kong Samon. Kong Samon, thank you, Mr. President. My name is Kong Samon. Madam Civil Party, I have a number of questions to put to you. I would like to get your clarification regarding your first husband's name. When you got married to him, did you register your marriage at that time? Answer: in 1973, when we proposed for our marriage, the Khmer was already in our locality, and my parents proposed our marriage to them, and they granted us the permission. At that time, during our marriage, we had the attendance of monks, but there were not many monks by that year. Kung Samon, thank you. At that time, did you remember what name your husband used in the registration of your marriage? Answer: his name was Keng Chư. Question: so were you aware of his subsequent changes of his names, and what were those names? Answer: my husband changed his name subsequently. In Phnom Penh, he was called Chư Heng Chuen, and later on his name was changed to Kong Chuen. Question. So the name Kung Chun that you mentioned, you were aware of these names since 1978 when you were relocated to Phnom Penh or what? Answer. Yes, I received the information about his name change, especially regarding his surname Kung. That was his grandfather's name. I was not aware of this surname, but I received information from people that he changed this surname to his grandfather's name. Question. When you talk about his grandfather, are you talking about the surname of his grandfather Kung or what? Answer. I said that the name Kung was the father of Ta Keng, and Ta Keng was the father of Chư. So it was the surname adopted according to the paternal line. Question. There are 3 references related to the name. One is the name Chư, and the third one is Chuen. So which one is your husband's real name? Answer. My husband's name spelled Cho Sra E, and another one is Cho Sra E No. And his original name spelled Cho Sra E. Question. When you filed your civil party application for the first time, especially when you gave the testimony in the chamber on the 23rd of November 2009, you said during time 10:03 that your husband's name is Keng Pun, alias Chun. So where did you get this name from? Answer. No, I never mentioned the name of my husband as Pun or Chun. I never say so. But Mr. President, I would like your permission for the civil party, lead lawyer for civil party to clarify on this. Kung Sam On. Let me clarify again. The document is in front of the chamber. It's related to case 001. It was on 23rd of November 2009. It was at 10:03. President, what about the transcript number. Kung sum on E1/78.1. Kung sum on, please allow me to continue. At the same time, there is another document which is a document from the lead lawyer for civil party titled Civil Party Group 1, the final submission. It is document D 288/6.159/7. In paragraph 70, is write as the following: the victims, Heng Pun alias Chun, husband of the civil party Theo Niep, which reference is E2/75, and in bracket, the interpreter could not get the number.
Could you please repeat the number? It didn't go through translation.
Let me clarify the document number. It's D288/6.159/7. It is at paragraph 70. I would like to know whether you have ever given the name Heng Pun as your husband. Have you ever mentioned this name to the civil party lawyers? Answer: no, I have never said or mentioned about these names. Question: a while ago, you said that your husband also adopted the name Kung that was from his paternal lines, and that was his. And you mentioned that his revolutionary name was Kung Chuen. Did you say so? Answer: yes, I said so. Question: yesterday, you said that your husband's grandfather named Kong Chu. Did you say so? Answer: I said that his grandfather named Kung, and when he named himself, he named Kong Chu. But for me, I address him as Kong Chuen. I did not know when he changed his surname. I only knew that his father's name is Kane or Takane, and Takane's father's name was Takung. I did not know when he changed his surname, only when I saw it. Question: so please allow me to clarify again. So his grandfather's name is not Kong Chư. Is it Kong Keng? President. Allow me to summarize. Kong is the name of the grandfather, and Keng was the name of her husband's father. And the last name is her husband's name. At one point, her husband used his father's name, and another point, his husband used his grandfather's name. Yesterday at 49 past 3, Madam Civil Party, you said that Kong Chư was his grandfather. That means your husband had a grandfather whose name was Kong Chư. Did you say so? President, now let simplifies your question. I encourage you to ask the Madam Civil Party what's her husband's father's name and what her husband's grandfather's name. Kung Sam on Madam Civil Party, now please give your answers according to the questions suggested by the President. President, please observe the microphone, Madam Civil Party. Civil Party. His grandfather's name was Kong and his father's name was Keng. Chü's grandfather's name was Kong and Chü's father's name was Keng. So his grandfather did not have a surname. He had only one name, Kong. That's it. Madam Civil Party, please give your answer. Civil Party. Since I was young at the time, I did not know about the surnames of those elderly people. I knew only their name, Keng. Question. When did you know that Kong Chư or Kong Chuen, that you think that was your husband who was arrested and jailed at S21? When you received the information about his imprisonment? I did not know when he was sent to S21. President, based on your searching for your husband, when did you find that your husband was among the prisoners at S21? When you found that your husband was imprisoned at S21? The question was already put to you, but we would like to get your clarification. And who was the one who told you? Answer. I received the news during the period when the lawyers searched for his name. I got that information about 1 month ago. That was in October. Kung Samon, thank you. What about in case 001? Based on the lead co-lawyer for Civil Party, that you were withdrawn from case 001 because your husband's name was not found, therefore you were not relevant to the case. Is that correct?
Without having looked at the transcript, the way I remember it, it wasn't to be found on the then list of the unamended list. We have now a new list, so there are various lists. My understanding was, but I stand to be corrected, that the reason why they were rejected in the first case was that the then list didn't show the name.
I don't know if this is an invitation for me to specify what I said yesterday, but I think that you perfectly understood, Judge Vance, the list that we have been talking about for the past 2 days, where the husband of the civil party's name is listed, was not available in 2009, and it was made accessible thanks to the list from the OCIJ. This is why her civil party application was not admitted in case 1 because there was a lack of a sufficient link between her harm and S21. Today the situation is completely different because we have access to new lists which once again were not accessible in 2009 and which allowed us to find the civil party's husband's name. I'd like to take advantage of this. That in French I heard there was a bit of confusion in the translation. We have the impression that our colleague was saying that the civil party had testified in the first case, which is not the case, if I understood well. And if I noted the excerpt from the transcript that was mentioned, this was the submission of a lawyer that was mentioned, but the civil party's statements were not at all present there. So I don't know if I properly received the message that was translated, but I think that in Khmer, my colleague would like to add something.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, Your Honors. What was raised by Counsel Kung Som-on, that the reference was a transcript of the testimony of the civil party, and that it is in paragraph 71. In fact, it is the final submission by the first lawyers groups, which is document D288/6.159. And it is not a transcript of this testimony of this civil party before the chamber. And I'd like to clarify another point, that the relevant paragraph is paragraph 70, and in the Khmer language it reads that the husband of this civil party is Hein Pun alias Chun, and it referred to another original document, which is a civil party application of this civil party, which was filed at the time, that is E2/75. And that document is exactly the same document that is included in case 002, in which she describes her husband as Hein Chun or Hein Chun. And the interpretation into Khmer at the time that it was Hein Pun or Hein Chun is indeed incorrect, because the civil party does not use that name, but civil party lawyer in case 001 mistakenly referred to her husband as Hein Pun or alias Chun. But in her own civil party application in the previous case, which is the same as in this case, is referred to her husband as Hein Chu or Hein Chun.
In order to answer Judge Fentz, on top of the list that was mentioned by the civil parties, I mentioned another list where we can see as well the name of the civil party's husband as well as her two colleagues, and this is list E3/1974. And I believe that in our list back then that was made up by the OCP, the name that is in that list was already mentioned, but I don't know if the civil party lawyers in case one did not see this name or did not find it because there might have been a difference in the spelling. So this is the situation.
Mr. President, allow me to continue. I'd like to get clarification in regard to the names in relation to document E3/342 at in Khmer and English is 0032 9780. This document was produced by the Office of the Co-Prosecutors on the 19th of May 2009, and at number 42, the name is referred to as Kung Chư alias Chun, and the position was a combatant in the State Supplies Office, rather State Supply the Market. So that name was mentioned previously, and not just the names that suddenly appear as suggested by lead co-lawyer due to the new revised list by OCIJ. And with that set aside, I'd like to continue with my questioning. Madam Civil Party, did your husband ever use the name Kung Chư? Answer. I was not familiar whether he used Kung Chư or Kung Chư, but since I knew his father, I knew that he was used to the name Keng Chư, and maybe later on he used his grandfather's name as his surname. Counsel, thank you, Madam Civil Party and Mr. President. I am done. President, thank you. And Madam Kinniep, it is now almost the conclusion of your testimony, and you now have a chance to make an impact statement in relation to the charges against the two accused, Nguyen Chi and Khieu Samphan, that is the harms you suffered under Democratic Cambodia, and that led you to file civil party application to claim for moral and collective reparations in this case. The harms includes the physical, psychological, and material harms that happened to you and that remains with you till today. If you wish to do so, you may proceed. Civil Party. The things that remain with me is the sorrow and pains that I have from the previous regime. I was in great difficulty while I was living with my husband. I was pregnant back then, and I was forced to travel by national roads to Battambang province. At the time, I also had my young child with me. And I did not have my husband with me while I was traveling with other people. I traveled with others to Battambang, and at the same time I was trying to look for my husband. 3 days after I delivered my second child at Mong Risai, I was forced to relocate myself again. I have so many sorrows and pains with me, and I like to ask Kyo Sampon. There is only one question, that they made the revolution in order to liberate people who suffered under the previous regime. Because in the previous regime, people suffered that they had to borrow money in order to feed themselves, and he claims that he liberates the country through the revolution. But how come people died? And where was he? And why didn't he see that? Why he didn't see the suffering that people were in? I'd like to ask this question in his capacity as a leader of the country at the time. And that is all. President, thank you. And the Chamber wishes to inform Madam Kiev that in the proceedings in case 002/02, from the beginning, the two accused, Nunchi and Kyo Sampon, exercised their rights to remain silent. And also on 8 January 2015, in response to the question of the Chamber, the co-accused reaffirmed their position to exercise their rights to remain silent. So far, the Chamber has not been informed as of the status of the change of the accused's position, so that they will respond to questions. And pursuant to the existing applicable laws, the Chamber has no legal stance to compel the accused to respond to questions by the parties or the bench. And Madam Kionib, the Chamber is grateful of your presence and the hearing your testimony as well as your impact statement is now concluded. Your testimony may contribute to the ascertainment of the truth in this case. You are no longer required to be present in this courtroom, and you may return to your residence or wherever you wish to return to. And we wish you all the very best. Court officer, in collaboration with Visu, please make arrangement for the civil party to return to her residence or wherever she wishes to return to. It is now a convenient time for a short break. The Chamber take a break now and resume at 25 to 3. The court is now in recess.